Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. 10 out of Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all and y'all rocking with me. This video right here, this is going to be about Florida State prison gunners. And we're not talking about firearms, right? Who's seen the Army movie when they're marching around, going like this here and grabbing on their you know what, and they're like, this is my rifle, this is my gun, this is for fight, and this is for fun. Well, that's the gun that we're talking about, right? We're talking about Florida State Prison. No guns in Florida State Prison except that one time on Columbia CI where a buddy from Tampa got a gun in there and somebody ended up getting shot. But hey, we are talking about your manhood, right? That's a gun. That's what a gun is in Florida State Prison, unless you're talking about a tattoo gun. But we're talking about gunning. So what is gunning? Gunning is masturbation within the prison system. But a gunner is somebody that performs that while looking at somebody else. So a lot of the time when gunning is going on, it's in confinement. When a female CO walks around, when the nurses walk around, dudes will get on the door and be peeking out the window. And the whole time, they're gunning. When you're in the youth offender prisons, I mean, it's common because we're young, for one. For two, there's not really any homosexuality inside of the youth offender prisons. At Sumter CI, it was non-existent. I didn't know about one person that was a homosexual at Sumter CI. At Lancaster, there was, punks. That's the term for a homosexual inside of prison, a punk. And they were really only in the older dorms. There was like one of them in B dorm, but really they were in like the 21 to 24 dorms, and there'd be a whole group of them. You know what I mean? Walking around with tight pants and this, that, and the third. But you weren't really around them too much. Because of that, a lot of inmates were comfortable gunning down nurses because nobody is looking at you while you're doing it, right? Because if you're gunning, I mean, it was so crazy at the youth offender prisons. You'll have kids gunning in the med line. When everybody's standing out there for meds, buddy will put his hand down his pants and just start going to town if he sees a nurse, a female CO, whatever it is. In confinement, it's usually going to be just when they're doing rounds, and it's generally going to be if you got, a cell to yourself. You're going to be gunning down whatever female COs and nurses come in. It's a common thing. And I mean, honestly, if you're not doing it, you kind of look that suspect, like, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? But not everybody is gunning actual people. You can gun a magazine if you got a flick book, which is more or less a pornographic magazine, whatever it is. But when gunning gets serious is when you go to the adult prisons. Adult prisons do not fuck off when it comes to this. It is insane. You could literally be in the chow hall eating your food. You look 2 tables over, dude got his whole thing out gunning the fucking CO under the table while everyone else is eating. Like, it's crazy. And not everybody is getting tried. Obviously, if you're sitting at our table and you do that, you're gonna get hit up. But they'll sit at tables with weaker people or people that are all down to do the same thing. And that's what they'll do. And it's not that everything is being done behind people's backs. I've had COs that have let me gun them, that enjoy it, that watch me while I do what I do. Whether I'm in the shower and they purposely walk around and stand in front of the shower and or I'm in a cell, a confinement cell, and on camera it looks like they're talking to me through the cell window. But really, I'm in here butt naked, lubed up with soap, just going to town. And she's just staring me down. This is prison. This is how it is. Some female CEOs, some female nurses, they're going to like you. You're going to be able to do what you want to do. And then some people, they just do it just to do it. Appalachia CI, there was a CO that used to work the Senate Gate. And people would go and sit in the cage at Senate Gate just to gun her down. And she didn't discriminate against anyone. Anybody could do it. But you would walk past Senate Gate and literally there would be like 8 dudes full-blown exposed going ham, and they either got a little washcloth with them, or they bring a little bit of toilet paper, and that's how they basically clean themselves up. And it's crazy because you're not used to seeing things like this. You know what I mean? It's Florida State Prison is a fucking free-for-all. And the way these things happen, it's nuts. You will have some dudes that are booty bandits that still gun down the female COs. And at the same time, at Appalachia CI, there was a JIT dorm. If you were 21 and under, you got put in the JIT dorm. When they closed down the JIT dorm, all those 18, 19, 20-year-old little white boys that came from the suburbs that are scary as hell and they were getting extorted in the JIT dorm, the second they got moved into the adult side, you had adults with their stuff ready waiting for those white boys to get in the shower. Literally waiting. So when that little white boy walks into that shower, you're gonna have like 5, maybe even more grown men, and they're usually black. They're gonna follow them in there, and they're literally gonna gun them down in the shower while that white boy's taking a shower. Now, it isn't always just the weak ones they try with this. You got some booty bandits that'll try anybody with this, especially if you're white. It's a known fact, booty bandits like whites more than anything. And there's more whites that are punks inside of prison than any other race. You'll see black punks, you'll see Spanish punks, but it's usually the whites, and they're not even gay. They're forced into it out of fear. They're forced to do sexual favors. They're forced to be sexually abused. They're preyed upon because they're weak. They're preyed upon because they're young, whatever it is. It's an unspoken rule. If you catch somebody doing something like that to you, gunning you down, or they even try you on that, you got to put some metal inside of them. It's an unspoken rule. You got to hit them up. You have to, because it's the ultimate sign of disrespect. You know what I mean? You're trying to feminize my masculinity by doing something like that, which means I need to take your soul. It's just an unspoken rule. I have to come and get you. Now, if you get caught gunning, you can get put on CM, but it doesn't really happen. CM is closed management. You have to do longer time periods in confinement. But normally you're going to get like a 60 days in confinement. If you gun a female that's, somehow related to one of the men on the compound, whether it's his wife, his sister, whatever, they're going to beat the fuck out of you. Then they're going to gash the fuck out of you when you get in confinement. They might take you out and fuck you up again before you get to the nurse. It's going to be hell for you. They really don't play that shit at all. They're going to come for you. They're going to fuck you up. If you're gunning near somebody who doesn't play that shit, like another inmate, it's one thing if you put somebody up on beat, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, bro, I'm going to do my thing. Don't walk past my door. Or if y'all in an open bay, the only way you can do it is if you're in the shower and you got to be in there by yourself. Or somebody's going to feel disrespected unless they're doing the same shit that you're doing. But if I'm in the fucking shower, you're not pulling your dick out like that. We're not doing that fuck shit. Nobody around me was into that shit. We wasn't going for that. You know what I mean? You're not doing it around us. You do that when you by yourself. We don't need to see that. But people will get into situations where they're so thirsty to, go and do that it'll cause someone else to hit them up. And there's been people that have been hit up in the process of doing so. While they're so focused on the female, they didn't pay attention to the dude that they disrespected, and he comes up and hits them up while he's in the process of doing what he's doing. It's insane. It's crazy. The booty bandits, they don't even play. Like, they're seriously walking up, exposing themselves on the youngest, softest people on the compound. And it isn't all whites. It can be any race. It doesn't matter, especially if you show any form of being feminine. Anything like that. If you're homosexual and you don't want to entertain other inmates, it is not an option for you. You're going to have to go PC. If they know you're gay, they are on you. They are coming for you. They're going to gun you down. There's going to be some that try to rape. If you're not with it, they're going to take it and it's going to happen. It's crazy. That's just how it is. This is prison at the end of the day. You got a lot of guys that don't involve themselves with anyone that's on the homosexuality shit. You got the majority of guys that will know booty bandits, since you got a lot of gang members that's booty bandits, but won't associate with the punks, if that makes sense. He might be a booty bandit, but he's a high-ranking gang member. You might talk to him, but you're not going to talk to the punk that has a female name. You see what I'm saying? I don't know the exact amount because I never got in trouble for anything like this. But if you're caught gunning a certain amount of times, you can actually become a sex offender inside of prison. And when you're released, you have to register as a sex offender because you're pretty much a chronic masturbator. It's the same as masturbating in public, looking at random people and doing so. And a lot of these guys are a lot older. The females generally go for the younger guys at the prisons as long as they know you're solid. If you're white, like the females, literally the COs, they'll ask other inmates about you. Like, is he good? Is he solid? He's not gay. He's not this. He's not that. When they find out you're good, that attraction level goes up even more because now they know you're dangerous. Because to be all those characteristics and to be white, you got to be about that shit. You know what I mean? Inside Florida State Prison. I can't speak on none of the other shit wherever it's going down at. That's also why at Lancaster, they said don't ever eat the butter. Because they said the dudes in the kitchen used to take the butter and use it as lube. And one of the kids that actually used to work in the kitchen got the kitchen staff member pregnant inside of the fridge. I ain't gonna put his name out there because I ain't no bro like that. He was from Jacksonville though. But I mean, he had it so raw. He got her pregnant in the fridge. She actually met up with his people on the street. He had gold pullouts. She brought his gold pullouts into the prison, gave them to him. So now he got his golds inside of the prison. And when he EOS'd, he actually moved in with her and she quit her job working for the DOC. So like I said, it's not like everyone that's doing so is doing so without permission. But the majority of these dudes that's gunning are straight sexual predators. You know what I mean? Shower time in confinement. You get taken out 2 at a time, put in the shower. There will be mad heads on the windows looking to see who's going into that shower. Because if it's a punk, literally everybody is going to get on the window that's on that gay shit and they're going to go to town. That's just how it is. So when you go into that shower, you got to turn around and check that shit. Because the COs, when they put you in the shower, it's by doors. If you try to hang your clothes up to block view, some of the COs will trip on that. Nah, take that shit down. You're not blocking vision. It's crazy. And there'll be 20, 30 people on the door. So you got to yell out to them. If you stay on that door, guaranteed when we get out on the pound, it's a fucking problem. I'm coming to hit you. You got to check that shit. Sometimes people will, hey, fuck you, and it is what it is, you know what I mean? Now you got to handle up when you get out there. You're going to cover up or you just buck your shower. But you know, bro, a booty bandit and he ain't respect your mind. So when the runaround come through, you ask him to read the paper in front of his door. Now you know his name is DC number. When y'all get out on the compound, it's action, it's war. A lot of these booty bandits be thinking they tough as hell because they've been down 15, 20, 25 years. And don't nobody give a fuck about that, bro. Ain't nobody stab you in 20-something years. You ain't came across the right one. You try me on that fuck shit, I'm coming. And thank God I never had to deal with that bullshit. I never had somebody try me like that. I never had to be put into a position like that where I'm going to have to wet something up. You know what I mean? I had a booty bandit moved in my room. I got him up out of my room immediately. Had to. It was mandatory. It had to happen. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. Get the fuck out. It is what it is. It's a fucked up world. It is a fucked up place to be. There's no separation to get them away because they're not letting punks go PC unless they literally get raped and it has to go under PREA and they have to snitch. It is a crazy fucking world inside of Florida State Prison. I hope none of y'all have to experience this shit. I hope none of y'all ever find yourself in one of these life or death situations. Even though it isn't life or death, it is in a sense, because if you are disrespected like that, you know it's mandatory to go and handle that. And if you don't handle that, you can only expect worse to come after that. It's 10 out of Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all, like y'all rocking with me. Till next time.